Of nothing. He's Christian Snyder. He's the author of many things, a columnist, books. Antiknowledge.com is where we're going to start with. Good morning, Christian Snyder.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on to be able to recruit for my sex cult.
Yes, I have to ask, Christian.
Right to it. I love that.
Right out of the gate, did you this picture that you used for this article on Elon Musk's gross baby farm? Did you make this image, or did you find this image of just a bunch of Elon Musk babies?
I have spent many hours perfecting ChatGPT photo creation, and that's what it spit out. So we're good to go.
There you go. I mean, it leaves an impression.
The piece is called "Elon Musk Gross Baby Farm is a Billionaire Sex Cult with Better Branding," which is a fantastic headline. But I knew some of this story, Christian, but sort of lay it out for me. This goes well beyond what I thought was happening with the one and only Elon Musk. Tell people what that story is about.
Yeah, so the Wall Street Journal ran an expose on Elon Musk, and this is something that we had kind of known for a while, is that he has 14 children by, I think, what is it, like 6 or 7 women, and he makes them sign non-disclosure agreements. He's kind of set up this compound in Texas.
Austin, Texas, right?
Where he wants these women to live, and it's just all really gross. Because he has this idea that because he has a lot of money that somehow he is this intellect that needs to spread his genetic material throughout, America and the world. And it's just, it's pretty gross.
I think that's definitely it's certainly one way to put it, but it's just some of the details of this that started to come out as, I think, one of the more recent women, Ashley St. Clair, who was a right-wing social media commentator, and he gave her $15 million to basically buy her silence, and giving her then an allowance of like $100,000 a month, so long as she never said his name in relation to the baby. And it's like, he is part of this pro-natalist movement that is, I think there's a little J.D. Vance in there. We just saw news this week as far as the round table of ideas of how to incentivize women to have more children. But this seems to take it to a different level.
Yeah, Trump's plan is apparently to give people $5,000 to have babies. But if you can somehow have an Elon Musk baby, then there's $15 million and $100,000 a month waiting for you as long as you keep your mouth shut. It's all just weird. And look, there's nothing wrong with being concerned about birth rates, right? Like, if we don't make enough babies, then that affects the economy, that affects our infrastructure, kind of the tax money we take in, all that stuff. That's fine. It's completely different to be like, I'm the one that's going to repopulate the earth because my genetic material is so superior to that of other people, and I have the money to be able to do it, and then to put these women under your control that have your babies. It's just so creepy and weird. And, I love nothing more than like sex cult shows. Like, there are a bunch on Netflix, and he's kind of a failed sex cult leader. for every one that actually works, there's probably 100 that don't. And he seems to be flailing right now.
Yeah, he seems to be trying hard as well. Let's get to the nut of this. So I have a friend, Jim, who is a big Elon Musk fan. Jim has a PhD in business, owned a business, now sold. He believes Musk is a genius. This line from your piece, antiknowledge.com, there's no evidence Musk has high intelligence. He is as much of a genius as Katy Perry is an astronaut. I think that sort of nails it from my perspective.
For your perspective,
yes.
Yeah.
I don't buy into it. You can be brilliant at one thing and be an absolute idiot at a lot of other things. And that seems to be, at least my perception, of some of what he's trying to accomplish. And right now, not really succeeding at any of it.
Yeah, I mean, you can compartmentalize certain things. He may be very good at business. He may be very good at finding businesses to invest in. He didn't really start a lot of these businesses that have made him all this money. I mean, we've seen this with Donald Trump. He's very smart at getting himself attention and getting people to follow him. Not so smart on tariffs and other things, almost every other thing. But so there's no evidence that Elon Musk somehow is this genius that needs his brain power spread throughout the populace.
He is Christian Snyder, author, columnist. This piece from antiknowledge.com. I definitely recommend it because you learn a lot about Elon Musk. Elon Musk's gross baby farm is a billionaire sex cult with better branding, and the picture is absolutely hideous. So if you'll get a kick out of that from his great work with AI. We'll continue the conversation. I want to see if Christian can predict where the Elon Musk story will go, at least as far as Doge and all the other elements of that piece of our nation's leadership. We'll get to that and more with Kristen Bry right here on 620 WTMJ.
All right, welcome back to Point Taken. We are on the phone with Christian Snyder, author, columnist. We started with the with Elon Musk gross baby farm, but as we talk about Elon Musk, there's news as of this morning that he will be stepping away from some of his governmental responsibilities. It's also news that Tesla is down 71%. And so as far as where do you think Elon's involvement in the government and that story goes from here, Christian?
You mean after his huge success with Doge?
Yes.
I mean, obviously the pressures on him to go back and run his own company and retain his own wealth is far more important than taking away the wealth of other people. So yeah, he's going to go back, but that doesn't mean he's going to disappear from the public sphere. I mean, that's kind of the weirdest part of all of this, baby farm stuff, is that he owns X, Twitter, and so he kind of can create his own world and dictate what to say to people. And so yeah, he would go on X and he would find these women and start DMing them, hey, do you want to have one of my babies? And you have this one woman who's like, yeah, no, I'm gonna pass. And suddenly her engagement on the site dropped. He started like blocking her from having followers and making money on the site. Because he bought Twitter in order to have it as part of his like cult. It's just weird and disgusting. But yeah, I don't know what he's going to go on and do now. Hopefully he goes on and he runs his companies. He runs Tesla. Although his reputation has been so damaged by all of this, I don't know if you're going to see Tesla come back and be what it was before.
Do you think he regrets some of this decision to sort of step into politics? He seems to enjoy the onstage stuff and going to the rallies. He certainly was a big part of the campaign. He was a big part of the efforts in
Wisconsin
in the run-ups to the April election, although it sort of backfired on him and Donald Trump and the Republican-supported conservative supported candidates. I guess when I look at Musk, I mean, I thought at some point he might like discharge Twitter at some point or X. But now he's been involved in some of these conversations, apparently with the president about the acquisition of TikTok. Maybe that's part of his. Do you think he can step away from this stuff, or is this his mouthpiece? Whatever he's doing with Doge, he wants to maintain that connection to the public. Is that his play here?
I think he can maintain his connection to the public without Doge, because Doge is obviously killing him with Tesla and his other business interests. Although, look, Elon Musk is going to be fine financially. Like, he can take a hit. He's already taken a huge hit by buying X because it's worth a fraction of what it was before. He clearly likes being in the spotlight. He clearly thinks he's the smartest man in the country. And so as long as he owns X, he's going to be able to convince people of that.
Is there a Doge without Elon? Do his minions stick around and they're who's in charge if he leaves?
I was going to mention the name of one of his minions, but I'm not sure I can actually say it on the air. You probably know who I'm talking about.
Yes,
it's like this 19-year-old kid, who is anatomically named. Yeah. Yeah, as long as those people are.
I was like, wait, what?
As long as those people are still there, there's going to be some part of it, and a lot of what he's done is set something in motion that's going to keep going. But I think it's going to lose a lot of its potency once he's gone, because there's no longer a big name behind it.
You think, again, I'm not trying to demean the president here, President Donald Trump, does he understand in any sort of detailed aspect what Doge is doing day to day? You think he gets into that at all?
No, absolutely not.
You think he understands
Elon Musk
most
didn't
of the
understand
things?
what Doge was doing.
Yeah, I suppose not. When I look at these stories, and look, I'll raise my hand. I'm a big fan of government efficiency. I like small government, but I don't know that this is this sort of high level. Not really a lot of detail or analytics or data behind any of this stuff. I don't know that this is going to produce anything of significance, and I'm still trying to understand what the actual numbers are. What have you saved us? I've heard these claims. I've seen the websites, but what have they actually accomplished that is actually going to help us as taxpayers? And probably more importantly, stop the incredibly increasing federal deficit. I guess that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, and you have some of the best reporters at places like the Washington Post and the New York Times trying to suss out exactly what his claims are, what he says he's saved. Has he canceled these contracts that have already been spent? The work's already been done. It's just a complete mess. And anytime there's a report on that, Doge takes away more information, so it's harder to look into that stuff. There's absolutely no visibility for any of that stuff. So, yeah.
He's Christian Steiner, author and columnist. Great SNL podcast. Maybe talk a little bit about after the break. See what else is banging around inside that head of his. That's after this on 620 WTMJ. Everybody, happy hump day to those who celebrate. Christian Steiner, author, columnist. What's that great SNL podcast you work on there, buddy?
I'm glad you asked. It's called Wasn't That Special? We are now in season 46 of the 50 seasons, and we watch a full season and tell you all about it. Yeah, and I'm talking a level of detail that no one out. This is a book waiting to happen because they've watched in exquisite detail all of the episodes, and they break it out in really interesting ways. I want to ask you, there was some recent controversy on a recent episode about the White Lotus Open and some offensive things they did regarding someone's appearance that they later apologized for. What was your take on that? I mean, the show's almost 50 years old, and they've done that type of thing for almost all 50 years of it. And I could see the actress being upset about it, but I don't know that an apology was warranted. It's nice that they did it, but I don't think it was.
So the context here, just for people who are unfamiliar, Amy Lou Wood is the actress from. She was actually in White Lotus this last season. She's a British actress, and who has her front teeth are very big. She's a very pretty woman, but her two front teeth are very big. And the sketch itself was called The White POTUS, and every character was replaced with Donald Trump, Melania, and it was playing off of both the White House and White Lotus, except for the actress who played Amy Lou Wood, and they made fun of her teeth. And then the actress came out saying, I didn't think it was funny, blah, blah, blah. And I thought it was interesting, the reaction. Christian, I would love it's like, is this a changing of the guard as far as the reaction from SNL not being defensive, right? I think a lot of times, sometimes when comics get criticized for going too far or saying something that's too mean, they're like, it's my right as a comedian to say what I want, and it's just a joke, lighten up. And yet the reactions seem to have been more on, you're right, we could have done something different, we didn't, and taking that into account as we write sketches in the future.
Yeah, I don't know that it was the show that really apologized. It was the actress who played the actress, Sarah Sherman, who was like, yeah, maybe this was probably too much. And then Bowen Yang said, she has every right to be upset, that type of stuff. But I don't know. I think it's more of the fact that with social media and with all this other stuff, that if somebody is made fun of on the show, they can go out and express their distaste for it immediately, whereas in the old days they couldn't.
Hey, real quick, Christian, you don't often get questions, but someone put a question in. I'm going to paraphrase because it's a long text. About Doge, do you think it's sort of a shell game, my words, to sort of give the illusion that they're saving taxpayers' money, at least give Donald Trump that sort of argument that he can make that there's all this waste, and it's really not anything more than that. It's just superficial.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of changes that they're going to have to be made are going to be congressional. You have to do it through changes in the law. And then, 2/3 to 3/4 of the spending is, mandated through Social Security, all that type of stuff, Medicare, Medicaid. So they're not going to go in and make big cuts to that because that would be political suicide. So I think you're going to see a lot less than they're claiming.
Quick one, because we have like 30 seconds. Would you feel safe going to Mars in a Elon Musk spacecraft?
Like Katy Perry?
Yeah.
Well, that was Blue Origin.
That was Bezos. That was Bezos. But Musk is very involved in the Mars stuff. I would not ever go into
Would you go to space at all?
No. Yeah, but not with Elon Musk.
Would you go to do the Blue Origin thing?
Maybe.
Because they've come back safely twice, and so you're like,
if I could afford
I think it's more than twice.
Yeah, if I could afford it. What do you think?
I would do it.
Really? Okay.
I think I'd do it. Yeah, why not?
All right, author, columnist, astronaut, question mark, Christian Snyder. Thanks for joining us. Always enjoy the conversation.
Thanks, Christian.
Potential astronaut. Yep, thanks.
All right, see you, buddy. All right, last one to get to.